mic and he's ready to go. Noodle on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Good morning, Bakers. What is going on? A lot of juice in the chat. First day of the year. It feels like it. It feels like it. It really does. I mean, let's be honest. This weekend, day one was just driving back from Buffalo, 7 hours of driving. So that was a tough first day of the year. And then yesterday, I mean, between the holidays and New Year's Eve, I hadn't been home for like 9 days. So yesterday was dead, but I wanted it to be. Watched all the football, so I'm excited to talk that with you guys. And I hope you guys and dolls had a happy New Year's Eve yourself. King BBD saw some of your New Year's antics on the gram. You and Zach, ladies.
It was girls' night.
Patreon Sam. Did you have a good time?
Good time.
I like that. I like
Times had.
Well, chat is going this morning. Again, I think there's good energy today. I was feeling it. My goal yesterday was to go to bed early. Did that. Little morning pump. No Trevor Plouffe. Odd. People are talking about that. Really excited. It's fantasy football final weekend, as I told you guys on my weird hotel room kidnapping, that Chris D'Amico, donation in the chat, thank you, that it was kind of weird. Fantasy football really worked for me this year. I'm kind of getting more and more into it, which I like. I think I mentioned to you guys one year we're going to make our own fantasy football next year, elimination fantasy football. So we'll get on that for you guys. But I was enjoying this year, really keeping track of a lot of players, and then I lost 3 semifinal games, so I was in no finals. And then you find out, like I was finding out yesterday, I was like, well, third place gets their money back, and I was like, it really takes the wind out of your sails. I think I'm against that.
I already spent it.
Yeah, it was just like, you want to win the league, or at least second place. Like,
You get a little something.
You tell someone you came in third place in your fantasy football league. I don't know. So I'm happy if someone did.
I want the bragging rights.
Yeah, and then, Jamar Chase, we'll be talking about him in the Bengals a lot. And actually, let's just start there, because I think the Bengals, Antonio Brown is a big topic for other reasons. But the Cincinnati Bengals, this was the heads up from last week that we gave you guys. They were playing the Kansas City Chiefs at home. I didn't fully realize that if they won, they locked up the division. So there was a little extra juice in Cincy. And I told you guys, and I told you I was going to land here, win or lose, that I wasn't going to get too high or low on the Bengals. They win. Jamar Chase with an all-time performance. His season now and what he's doing is incredible. And just the fact that they were teammates at LSU. I forget who I heard talking about it, but they were saying, it's funny when the Bengals drafted Jamar Chase. I think some serious football people were giving them shit because, you're really going to draft 2 guys that played at college together just because they're college teammates? And we talked about it on here a little bit, and I think I said some nice words about chemistry and what does that mean. But, A, I think the chemistry is decent. And B, I think Jamar Chase is nasty. So that pick ended up working out. If you remember, there's a lot of hubbub about them drafting an O-lineman because Joe Burrow got hurt. And
Yeah, I mean, even going into this year, I don't know how their line has performed on the season. I assume better than in the past, but it was like, well, I just don't have somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it comes back to, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. Yogi. Burrow with a crazy day, 446, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. They win 34-31. Cincinnati was rocking. They were down 14 points to the Chiefs, and you guys know how much love I've given the Chiefs this year. And by the way, I'm not freaked out by this loss. The bigger thing that I'm freaked out for the Chiefs is home field in the playoffs, which is looking like it's going to the Tennessee Titans if the playoffs start tomorrow, which that's insane. And we'll have to give the Titans some love. Kansas City had a shot to go up even bigger. Tyreek Hill dropped a big deep ball. There was some tough officiating in this game, whether at the end, which is just brutal in the NFL. It's kind of one of the NFL's bigger problems right now is that sometimes the penalty fests at the end of the game are just a brutal watch. To have a game like this end like that, it was a little bit of a bummer. Chiefs, I'm not too worried about. Kelsey has a quiet day at the office. Tyreek Hill gets held to 40 yards. They really distributed the ball. This might be a little bit of a cover-up, and we're going to find out in the coming weeks. I'm going to have to put my Chiefs money where my mouth is a little bit. I'm not saying they didn't roll out the full playbook, like they're hiding it for the playoffs. But I believe in Andy Reid. I think he's got tricks up his sleeves. / just years and years of coaching, and maybe it's not. No team in the NFL this year is invincible. The Bucs lost to the Jets this weekend, minus the Jets running a 4th and 2 QB sneak, which just felt like a losing football play. Any team in the NFL can lose. We know that. You don't need to hear that anymore. In the AFC, I'm still going to ride with the Chiefs. This game doesn't affect me and how I feel about them. The Bengals are good. We'll see if they make me eat some crow. I'm not in fear of it, but good for them. Joe Burrow, and we kind of stumbled into it last week. You live and die in the NFL. We talked about how good the Indianapolis Colts were. Guess what? They lost this weekend at home to the Raiders. And guess why? Because Carson Wentz is their quarterback. So Joe Burrow climbing this NFL QB pantheon and becoming who he is, which, by the way, I've said this before, Cincinnati, Joe Burrow being an Ohio guy, this is the lottery. You have just won 15 years of an absolute lottery. And I guess that's what's holding me back on Cincinnati. I think a lot of the excitement is that Joe Burrow's a young stud, is that Jamar Chase is a young stud, that this is starting to come together. And I think that's getting in the way of some people's thoughts for this year. I think the Bengals, year in and year out, Big Ben's retiring. Who knows what's going to happen with the Steelers? The Browns love Stefanski. Baker,
They're Brownsy.
Baker isn't making a climb. There's not a jump coming. I think Baker can be very solid for a season with a good team, but seems like Baker's Baker. Lamar banged up this year, and you respect what the Ravens are as an organization. They've been very solid as a team, but if Joe Burrow is climbing that QB NFL depth chart, I think there's a ton of excitement around that, and the Bengals should be excited. I guess I'm nervous about, they haven't done the playoffs. That's good analysis right there. They haven't done the playoffs. I think the excitement is with the future. Jamar Chase is awesome. Zach Taylor, I want to give a little bit of kudos to the Bengals. He was pretty bad in their first 2 years. Let's get some records out. I mean, regular season record, kind of unfair. I think he's still like 16-31-1. So that's tough. But, yeah, I mean, you have two absolute stinkers. 2-14, 4-11-1 last year. They stayed with them, and they are 10-6, and they are AFC North champs. Awesome. Good to them. And apparently his wife is the daughter of Mike Sherman, former Green Bay Packers coach. I'm on his wiki right now. And Mike Sherman is a CCSU guy. So that's full circle, people. So that's huge. So, hey, Bengals fans, I'm very happy for you. You're probably going to be mad at me because you guys are, you guys should be celebrating and enjoying it. I'm not going to be fully drinking the Bengals Kool-Aid until I see what the AFC playoff picture looks like. And, in a way, it's still going to have to go through the Kansas City Chiefs. Although we'll see, the home field is not set yet. I think the Bengals do have an outside chance at the 1 seed. The Tennessee Titans being the 1 seed. So before I leave on that, Bengals, good on you. Chiefs, again, I don't know. I just don't think they are fazed by that at all. It's the ultimate spin zone. If you're a Chiefs stan, you could sit there and say, this is Andy Reid's going to be able to coach him up. That loss, that was big. Now Andy gets to get it. I don't know. They finish with my Broncos next week, who, God, they stunk it up. They look so bad. And we'll see. We'll see if the Titans can close it out. Bengals, enjoy it. You are set up for more than a decade, literally. You can't say that for a lot of teams. You are set up for more than a decade. Joe Burrow is going to get paid very soon. Excited for him. So all that Bengals talk and Chiefs talk, I guess, was brought to you by DraftKings, the DraftKings Sportsbook. It's the final week of pro football after the Steelers play those Browns tonight. Wow, final season of pro football. Getting excited for NFL playoffs, really am. And I guess I missed that in my opening speech about fantasy football. I thought I was going to watch the football yesterday and be kind of bored because there was a lot of player tracking. My team, who you're playing, you get locked into a lot of individuals. I really enjoyed yesterday. So football kind of has me hooked. And it's the final week coming up, and then the college football national championship. Watch some of those games. That was fun. DraftKings is giving you an unbelievable offer for new customers. You can bet $5 on any football team to win their game. If they do, you win $200 in free bets. So if you got a winner, by the way, Chiefs at Broncos next week. Broncos ain't really playing with a quarterback. $5 to win $200. If the sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still win with their daily fantasy contests. Kind of how they built the whole thing. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JOMBOY. Bet $5 on any team, college or pro, and win $200 in free bets if they are victorious. That's promo code JOMBOY this week at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or PA only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. What are you thinking about over there, BBD?
I just got my first ever bachelor party invite.
Wow.
So it's So I don't know. One of the weekends next summer, I'm in Vegas.
Wow, Vegas.
Yeah.
College, hometown,
College friends.
Whoo, BBD.
So 3 minutes ago, got the text, and I was opening stuff, and then I went and read it, and they're like, "Yeah, so expect everyone to get their flights to Vegas or whatever." And I was like,
You're gonna have fun. You're gonna be freaked out by the prices.
Yeah.
You'll have fun. Budget your money, and then have a secondary budget.
I have a second supply. I'll be there for the drinking more than the gambling. I like it in Vegas.
Part of that speech was
like
for
it.
the drinking too, unfortunately.
Yes. Like when I gamble, I only like to do it on DraftKings Sportsbook because it's safe, secure, and reliable.
Yes.
But it's out there.
You're gonna have to pay covers.
Yeah.
I think me and my buddy Jared went to Vegas for the first time together. It was the time I booked the flight reverse, so I had to drive there. Classic Jake story.
All-time story.
We went out, and dude, Vegas. All right, New Year, new me. I'll give a little Vegas speech in between this football. The energy in Vegas is unmatched. I would compare it to kind of the first weekend of college, and you're just seeing new people, and everyone's kind of there for the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, first weekend of college, you're like, new year, going to college, meeting people, girls, guys. I
just want friends.
Yes. Vegas is kind of the same way. Everyone goes to Vegas for the same stuff. So, that being said, go with my buddy Jared, and I meet him in, like, the hotel lounge bar, which is just, again, it's just people passing through. Like, no one's staying there, or the people that are staying there are drunks or whores. So I was at home. I was both. No. So me and my buddy Jared, we're hanging out there, and there's a group of gals, Oregon State Beavers. Oregon State Beavers. And dude, it's just like, oh, what are you guys doing here? Oh, yeah, we're here. Oh, okay, what are you guys doing here? Oh, birthday. All right, cool. Blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe we'll see you. And you just don't know in Vegas. You don't know if that's the last.
Could happen.
You could run into them later. You could never see those people again. So everyone just kind of leaves the door open and is like, all right, have fun. Like, maybe we'll catch up with you. So we ran into these girls. They were going into one of the Vegas, like, nightclubs or whatever, and they were, like, a group of, like, 7 girls, and we were 2 guys. So we're like, hey, can we go in with you? And they're like, yeah, sure, absolutely. So because we were 2 girls with we were 2 girls. Because we were 2 guys with 7 girls, the cover was like $50 and it got waived for us. So we were like, all right, like, this is awesome. Like, we owe you guys drinks, you know, cool guys. And went up and got everyone, like, Red Bull vodkas, and I think it was like $200 for like
for 9 of those.
Yeah, that might be low. So Vegas will get to you. I can't imagine. I also lost a little bit of money gambling. Nothing crazy, but I lost money gambling. I can't imagine winning money in Vegas and then enjoying that. So I'm excited for you, as you can clearly tell. Wouldn't mind 1 or 2 more Vegas bachelor parties in my day.
I've only been there the once, and it was with you, and we were, like, working.
Yeah, and it was, like, cold.
Yeah.
Oh, man, pool party. Anyways, let's get back to the football instead of you guys hearing me daydream. Although I did have one of my cooler moments while this thing was still building up. A Talking Yanks fan recognized me in the Vegas pool. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. But that was cool. All my friends were very impressed with me for 1 second, and then it was all out the door. Let's talk more football. You guys probably want to hear about Antonio Brown. That was a big one. I don't know. I try not to get lost in the actual headspace on it. I mean, I do totally agree with the people. Like, if you're someone out there that's diagnosing Antonio Brown, like, get out of there. If you're someone that's like, holy crap, Antonio Brown seems pretty off kilter, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, look at the body of evidence we have. I just, if you're not a doctor working with him, I would stay away from that. But, man, and also, like, the side people aren't talking about, it's just, like, sad. Like, this guy is, like, one of the better wide receivers to kind of play football for a little bit there. Like, you put his top years against a couple other people, and it was so good. But he released his song, so that's a banger. Banger in the mouth. And by the way, the Bucs come back and win that game against the Jets, and that's obvious. Like, you can't. what did you guys think was going to happen?
You gave Tom Brady steaks.
What if I told you, what if I told you the script that was about to play out, and you had to bet on it? But hey, good for the Jets. Like we kind of talked about a couple episodes ago, like kind of good energy in Jets land between Zach Wilson playing a little better. Salah, the coach, seems well liked and like in control. The team isn't a shit show. New York Giants, hello. So yeah, I don't know.
They're gonna have another top pick, but with good vibes.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Like you're gonna believe in Zach Wilson for next year,
he
Salah
certainly gets next year to see what happens.
So that's kind of fun
anyway,
for them.
But.
Buccaneers win. They're 12-4. NFC, man. I was kind of giving myself. Like, we're getting close to the playoffs, and it's what do you really believe in? And in the AFC, I've told everyone numerous times, I'm all in on the Chiefs. Like, I'm Mahomes. Like, I might, depending how this Chiefs season ends, I'm going to have to see where my headspace is at, because am I just going to be a lame guy that picks the Chiefs and Mahomes every year? At the same time, I'm also, like, Travis Kelce is pretty special. Like, Tyreek Hill is the fastest guy you'll see on a football field. I mean, it's so crazy. So, and Andy Reid is a good coach. So, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out for the Chiefs. But in the AFC, I'm pretty much going to be riding with them. Let's close off the NFC really quickly, just because their playoff picture is almost done. The Packers are still the 1 seed. They are 13-3. They roll over the Vikings last night. Kirky Cousins was out, so Sean Mannion was torn on the pill. It was a cold Lambeau Field, and they were honoring Madden. All that was cool. Packers, I mean, it's looking like it's going to be 14-3, and they're going to be the 1 seed. And they're going to have the bye, and they're going to have Lambeau, and they've had a bunch of guys out that should be back, especially if they get a bye week. So I was drinking heavy Packers Kool-Aid. Then I started drinking myself a little Rams Kool-Aid, because the way they won. So they almost lost to the Ravens and Tyler Huntley, which, again, kind of not impressive, essentially unimpressive. But the way they won... And it's something that I hope sports as a whole start making a turnaround on, is I think stars and the best of the best matter. Like in baseball, we've seen it with a lot of the teams, like it's kind of racking up WAR and like, you know, your big player hits free agency, that's okay, let's get 3 other players. I think stars matter, and I think the Rams are the best case of this. Who scored the touchdown to win the game? Odell Beckham. They got him. They got him for free, actually, because the Browns were done with him. And by the way, he's been nasty for them.
Yeah, the first game was just weird, and then since then he's been nasty.
He's been like almost a touchdown per game. Like Odell Beckham and Cooper Kupp. They can go toe-to-toe with any wide receiver combo in the league. Easily. So I was drinking some Rams Kool-Aid. Stafford. Game-winning drive, comeback. Everyone loves McVay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady, like I know they survived the Jets, but they're the defending Super Bowl champions. They have Tom Brady. They have Bruce Arians. They have some injuries. A little worried about that. Oh, closing out with the Rams, the way they actually won the game, Von Miller with the big sack that helped end the game. Von Miller. Like, Von Miller is a star of this game. I know we're starting the second half of his career, but we don't know where he is in the second half of his career. Jalen Ramsey was all over the field in that game. Like, the Rams have stars and a good offense. Like, their pass rush, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd. Like, you can drink the Rams Kool-Aid pretty easily. Buccaneers Kool-Aid, you can drink that. Cowboys, I wanted to drink your Kool-Aid. Now I kind of hate you because I did bet on you yesterday, DraftKings, and they stunk up the joint. So I guess the Cowboys and then the team that beat them, the Arizona Cardinals, you do have those teams a tier below Bucks, Rams, Packers.
Yeah, just you wouldn't pick them over them right now.
It's tough. It's tough, especially they're below those teams in the seeding. Let's see. If the playoffs started tomorrow,
Packers, I believe, just are the ones.
Yeah, Packers would be the bye, so it would be Rams, Eagles. So you love that for the Rams. No offense, Eagles. Good on you. It would be Buccaneers, Cards. Is that right? Did I miss a game? Why am I missing a game?
Because so the 6th seed is the one in question. So it'd be Buccaneers and probably 49ers.
Yes. Excuse me. So it would be Rams, Niners, which actually isn't great for the Rams.
I think
Eagles, Bucks.
Eagles might be locked into 7. It's the way it's
I
formatted.
think the Eagles are in the playoffs.
They're locked into the playoffs, but they can't jump.
So the Saints.
I think whoever gets in above them will have the tiebreaker.
The Saints are the Niners. Okay, interesting.
So this week that page is very confusing.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, I don't know. I think I'm a big believer, especially with the extra week this year, and only one team getting the bye week. I think I'm drinking a lot of Packers Kool-Aid if they get that bye. Rodgers looks so locked in. Couple of his throws yesterday. Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp. To be a star wide receiver and get open every play, that blows my mind. If you're a defensive coordinator, you plan for those guys all week, and they still roast dudes. Although I guess that's why I'm kind of mad at the Chiefs, but they should learn from it. Why was Jamar Chase getting single covered 200 yards in? Roll a safety, babe. Packers, Rams, Bucks. That being you could talk me into any of those teams. If you're someone that loves the Buccaneers, I'm not going to argue with you. Tom Brady, the Bucks.
I don't need to be the guy betting against him.
Rams, they traded for Stafford. Their defense has stars everywhere. Odell and Kupp. I'm not going to fight you on that. I'd fight you on Cowboys, Cardinals. The goddamn Cardinals. They're so under my skin. And it's related to fantasy football, which is pathetic. So this will be my last week that I'm just pissy at the Cardinals. I promise that to the people. So sorry about that.
With everything we said about them, I don't think any team wants to be matched up against them come playoff time, but
yeah,
I guess that's the nature of being.
Kyler and the Cardinals can turn it on every day. They've been less scary since
this week.
Since Hopkins went out. They almost lost to the Cowboys. The Cowboys came back in this game. They needed a big fake punt, which, by the way, did have an awesome catch on it. David Tyree-esque. Yeah. I think our Matt Goldstein is telling you to text him about Vegas stuff, so that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. More help in your corner there.
Easy.
What else do we have around the league? Oh, the Titans. I had a couple Titans people tweet out at me that they were not happy with me. Evan Phillips, our guy, but had some other Titans fans. So apparently I'm on Titans' radar. Probably because of Evan Phillips and him being the man.
You're a hater.
They're the 1 seed. So everything I just said about how important it is for the Packers, I guess them getting the 1 seed is my differentiator between the Rams and the Bucks. Pretty much you give me either of those teams with the bye week and home field, I think I'm in. So that's why I'm on the Packers. The Tennessee Titans, if they can stay away from my Chiefs stan Jake here, depending how that playoff bracket sorts out for them, and someone does clip the Chiefs, whether it's the Bengals, hey, the Bills are starting to get good juice again. I kind of low-key love the Chargers. Maybe I just like every team. The Tennessee Titans deserve so much love. What they've done the past couple of years now, Mike Rabel is the most underrated coach in the NFL. If we did best NFL head coaches, when does Mike Rabel get mentioned?
Yeah, that very first year he was good. They were good. He got a lot of love, but they really don't. People don't really talk about him in that conversation.
Ryan Tannehill's their quarterback, which, hey, wherever you stand on Tannehill, good on you. He did have 93 passing yards versus New England earlier this year. He's had a lot of good games. That was pretty rude.
Yeah, Tannehill's probably underrated, but also like every quarterback we've talked about in this picture, you would probably want on your team over him, right?
I mean,
is there one you would not?
We're gonna have to do official QB rankings one day. It's an off-season game. Here's Tannehill's passing yards the last 5 games: 93, 191, 153, 209, 120. They're 3-2 in those games. They've won 3 of their last 4. I don't really know what you do with the Titans. Again, you give me a playoff matchup. Colts, Chargers, Patriots, Bills, Bengals, Chiefs. How about this? If it was a neutral site, and now I'm going to make all the Titans fans hate me. Neutral site, which I know isn't a thing in the NFL, and the Titans might just have home field throughout the playoffs until the Super Bowl.
They just have Houston week.
They have Houston
week 18, and they just beat them. They have it.
Final week to have home field in the AFC. Let's say if playoffs were just neutral site. That's how the world worked. Chiefs would be favored by 7.5 points. Bengals, 6.5 points. Bills, 5.5. Maybe not the Bills, 5.5. I still think the Bills would be favored. Like Josh Allen. It'd be closer than that. It'd be closer than that. 2.5. Patriots whooped on them this year. That was the game Tannehill threw for 93 yards. I think the Patriots would be favored. Colts. That one's tricky now that we saw the Colts not look invincible. And then the Chargers, man, I don't know. Titans, you probably have to be favored over the Chargers, but I really love Herbert. I'm on the Herbert train. And so the Raiders, Ravens, and Steelers still have life. Well, we'll see what happens with the Steelers tonight.
Ravens, I'm looking at playoff odds stuff, and it's 2% chance. So
really?
I think they're the ones that need the most help.
So they probably need just everyone to lose then, yeah.
Yeah, just everyone ahead of them.
So does the final spot, so the Colts haven't clinched and the Chargers haven't clinched. But they are currently in the playoffs. Titans. So Evan Phillips, my guy, is saying Titans already beat the Chiefs and the Bills. It's true. It's true. They're the 1 seed in the AFC. So that whole thing I just dreamed up about neutral site and all that doesn't matter. And if they get the bye week, would just love who would be going to Nashville for that second week of the playoffs. Because, yeah, I don't know right now. But the Tennessee Titans are the 1 seed in the AFC. Mike Rabel, man. Give that dude some love.
It's on the article I pulled up, which is it's just the top thing on ESPN this morning. Basically exactly what we said. Just Dolphins clinch a playoff berth, whatever. At some point, we need to take a step back and recognize what the Titans have done under Mike Vrabel after making the playoffs once in 9 years, 4 consecutive winning seasons, 3 trips to the playoffs, consecutive division titles.
Yeah. And by the way, like, if I told you Derrick Henry was going to miss half the Titans season this year, like, isn't that the whole Titans thing? Like, Derrick Henry.
Without him, what are they?
I don't know.
Like in the Patriots and Brady obviously both have stayed good, so kind of at the time though they ended the Patriots.
Right.
That was cool.
Right. Yeah, they went to the AFC Championship game. So let's circle around the league a little more and touch on maybe the not lesser notes, but the Bills, they beat the Falcons at home 29-15. What was kind of funny was the Falcons scored a touchdown to make this a 1-score game. Matt Ryan got a taunting penalty. Matt Ryan got a taunting penalty, which was pretty ridiculous. He definitely shouldn't. They shouldn't have thrown a flag on it. But then they ruled him down. So Matt Ryan runs in for a touchdown. And then, so with the taunting penalty, I think it just would have changed the kickoff or the extra
I think
point.
it usually just gets applied later.
But because it was ruled down, then that taunting penalty made it like it was like 3rd and goal from like the 11 or something. So that kind of ended that game essentially. And Bills did well. They're starting to run the ball. They got away from that. Singletary, 23 carries, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Because playing from ahead helps that a little bit, but
Yeah,
that's the game.
They were up 14-2, which is a fun score. But then the Falcons came back and had the lead at the half. So hey, Bills, it's not pretty, it's not dominant, but you won a football game, and you have some wins to take away from it. Bears, Giants. I mean, anything you want to say, BBD, about the Giants?
Negative 10 passing yards in a game. Yeah, you just can't.
Yeah, I mean that Glennon image will forever be in my head that the Talking Giants guys put together. The minus 10 yards with his neck.
Like
they're embarrassing.
It's so
The
bad.
franchise is embarrassing.
I was pretty lukewarm on the Judge stuff, but yesterday did put me over. It's like you gotta just get rid of everybody.
Yeah.
Start over again. Like if for next year Jones is quarterback, I'm still same as I was there. I don't care, but not a guy in the draft. So if you don't trade, run it back with him. But
yeah, I think it's time for a new coach. If you're a Giant fan that doesn't believe in that, I don't know.
I forget who tweeted. Oh, it was Medvin. He tweeted the last 2 coaches they had were fired after 2 years, and Shermer's record was this really bad record, and what's his name was bad with this bad record. Judge has one more win than McAdoo did, and what is
McAdoo?
So if he gets a 3rd year, the very first question you should ask is, what did he do to get a 3rd year that those 2 didn't?
Yeah.
At least organizationally they weren't embarrassing. They just were bad.
Gettleman's got to go.
Yeah, I mean as is he's old.
Gettleman's got to go.
You don't get 4 years as a GM to be this bad and get to keep going.
And I mean, some of the stuff that's coming out from former players and stuff, I mean, it's nightmare mode.
The Giants have never been that.
I guess,
and for
worst case as a
5
Giants
years.
fan, if they fired Gettleman and Judge is back, I think you can shrug a little bit. Because Joe Judge isn't hated, and hey, it's pretty tough to be well-liked when you're 4-12 and your team fucking sucks. And it's hard with Mike Glennon. You'd still like to think you could get better than minus 10 yards out of a guy that's
the
played in the
Giants
NFL.
guys and Greg's dad.
Yeah.
Greg's dad might have bested that. Fewer attempts, but
That's tough. So I don't know. They don't even deserve to be talked about. Go listen to Talk Giants. Listen to it there.
Talk to Greg's dad, I think.
Yeah. God. Titans mentioned they won. It was over the Dolphins. The Dolphins that had been sexy and fun and on a win streak. They eat shit in Tennessee. They lost that game 34-3. And they got eliminated from the playoffs. So I don't know. They're going to go into next year and excited to let Tua ride and all of that. The Dolphin stuff kind of feels, as a team, feels a little fake. I guess I've never been a Tua guy.
They feel like they're a year behind where they're supposed to be. I feel like a lot of teams we talk about, they came earlier than you thought. Dolphins feel like a year or 2 back.
I do like Brian Flores, their head coach, so if they build a couple more nice things around that, you could talk yourself into they're not in a bad spot.
Not in a bad spot. Just that first year, it felt like, he got that defense going strong at the end. They had their late surge or whatever, and we're just playing good football. So, honestly, this is to his 2nd year, but it just feels like they haven't taken a step forward from there yet.
It's the whole formula. If we're talking about
just
good,
everything.
if we're talking about good energy for Jets football, like the Dolphins should have a lot better energy than that. So, Dolphins, you enjoy that. Your season's over. A game that's not getting talked about a lot. I think it just got overshadowed by the AB game. I think it got overshadowed by Joe Burrow. The Raiders coming back against the Colts. Derek Carr slings it. I know sometimes it doesn't look good, but my God, he slings it. Like, how about Derek Carr versus Carson Wentz? Who do you want in a game? I'm probably Carr.
I think Carr. I feel like
It feels
probably
like
has the.
Carr gives you a chance.
It feels like he has like the higher floor.
Where there's definitely times when it feels like Carson Wentz does not give you a chance.
Like when Carson's at his best, like we saw him have an MVP season and get hurt.
Like if I guess here's my test. You see Carr, the Raiders are down 4. Final 2 minutes, and David Carr. Derek Carr?
This one's Derek.
Derek Carr. David Carr, former Giants legend. Derek Carr drops back and throws a deep ball. I think I'm like, oh shit. Like, I think it's got a chance. If I see Carson Wentz in the same scenario throw a deep ball, I'm like, I'm looking for the interception. So I don't know if that's an official football exercise.
Yeah. And Carr has some more implicit trust play to play.
So the Raiders are 9-7. They need a little help to get in the playoffs, it looks like. They finished with the Chargers. Okay, so we have the schedule. They are playing. Are they playing the Sunday night game? So that game matters, right? Because Raiders need to beat the Chargers to make the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay, so that's
the
exciting.
Chargers,
So that's just a win in your in game, I think.
I think so. We
Wow.
thought they might shuffle the AFC North into there.
That's crazy. Raiders at home in Vegas. BBD's going to the game. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, the chat is saying Carr easily. Llewellyn officially flexed it. So, yeah, I guess that.
I think it is pretty decidedly Carr, but they are like close, similar tier.
Week before the NFL, the Super Bowl, the NFL Super Bowl, who fucking says that? We should do like a quarterbacks ranking.
Yeah.
Just like 1 through 35. Because where does Carson Wentz land right now? This Colts team was so beloved even as of a week ago, and now they're not in the playoffs necessarily. Who do they finish with? The Colts finish with... This was at home? Like, they finished with the Jaguars, so Colts are probably getting in. That's good news for them. Jaguars, my God. What the hell is that? Patriots put up a 50 burger on them. So Colts are in. So that brings your 2% playoff odds, BBD, for the Ravens. I think that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Because Raiders or Chargers, kind of someone has to win that game. And then the Colts would have to lose to the Jaguars. So, yeah. So the Colts are in. I'll confirm that now. Although they did beat the Bills this year in a weird one.
Ravens, they need to beat Steelers, which is one of the teams in front of them. Losses from Colts, Browns. This might have been Colts, Chargers, Dolphins. I'll have to lose.
Yeah.
Because Dolphins are out, so Colts and Chargers have to both lose.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, that's hey, good on the Raiders. Again, think about their season, Gruden, Ruggs. There's some other stuff that just got overshadowed by that stuff.
Just a weird
They're going to have a winning record. What other games need to be talked about? Saints-Panthers was just an ugly bowl. Saints with an outside shot to make the playoffs. They're kind of playing an ugly brand of football. My takeaway, Callaway, the wide receiver for New Orleans, Marquez Callaway, he might have a big year next year. He made some nasty catches, like him. But
I guess the points in the Saints' favor for playoff stuff, they get the Falcons next week, and Niners play the Rams.
Okay.
So it could be. I mean, there could be rest stuff and whatever. But
if the Niners don't make the playoffs, we need to yell at everyone that yelled at us. BBD.
yeah. Oh, big Saints guy this weekend.
Huge Saints when they come marching in. Niners beat the Texans in a game that was close for a while. Trey Lance played in this game. He finished strong. Texans missed a big field goal that I think it would have given them the lead or tied up the game, and then it just all fell apart from there. Rams beat the Ravens. We talked about that a little bit. Stars, if you like stars, Odell Beckham Jr., game-winning catch. Von Miller with the game-sealing sack. Jalen Ramsey punched his teammate. That's the good stuff. Cowboys-Cardinals, I should mention again, I'm just grossed out by both of these teams right now from fantasy football and betting reasons. Yeah, I just think both of those teams are about to run into bigger powers depending how the playoff matchups sort. Seahawks, I think this was their last hurrah in Seattle for Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, unofficially. DK Metcalf, he has a monster game. Amon-Ra St. Brown line it up. This just kind of seemed fun. Like, neither team really cared about defense. It was just kind of like, hey, Lions, if you promise not to win, like, let's just both do it. 51-29 final in Seattle. Packers rolled on the Vikings. Told you guys about that. Eagles, they beat the Washington football team to go to 9-7. Jalen Hurts deserves a ton of credit. Nick, why am I blanking on his Sirianni? Good Paisan boy. He deserves some love. Chris Long had a good tweet. Because Sirianni, if you remembered, he had kind of a weird press conference. And so often we get caught up in the weird press conference, making it matter. Although the Adam Gase one, that was the weirdest thing that's ever happened, like in front of a camera. So that one did matter. Eagles are 9-7. They were not expected to be that. Jalen Hurts is fun. He has fun with the fans after the game, after they collapsed on him. They are playing the Cowboys. Okay, how about them? Cowboys looking to bounce back, and I guess they can improve or deprove their playoff standing. Deprove, not a word, right?
I don't think so.
Improve or
disprove. Worsen.
Worsen. Worsen. How about the language? So, yeah, the Eagles are in. Yeah, that's right, because it's just Saints or Niners. So the Philadelphia Eagles are a playoff football team. I mean, I think they're going to get rolled on whoever they play, but there's a good argument the Philadelphia Eagles should not have been a playoff team, and they will be. There is one game that I haven't really mentioned, and I do this almost every time. It's my Denver Broncos. They just got dominated by the Chargers. Drew Lock was slinging the pill for them. Just not scary at all. Noah Fant is really good. I wish he was in a better offense. Yeah, Rippin came in for the Broncos for a little bit, for deep cut fans. I don't know. This was just the Chargers are a better football team. Herbert is really good. This is exactly what I thought would happen in this game. I can screenshot it if you want. I bet Keenan Allen touchdown and Chargers to win. That's kind of my new bet. If there's a team I want to win and there's a good player. It's kind of like my losing pitcher to give up a home run bet in baseball, but the opposite.
Find the bad team.
Yeah.
That's a little harder with football because, like, a receiver can have a big game without scoring. Or
Keenan Allen could have 160 yards and not get a throw in the end zone.
Yeah.
You know?
Or just like this day. Like just
It's
kind of
a little
decoy.
You got to be a little strategic about it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Jakey big bets.
You got to believe in it.
Patriots dominated the Jaguars 50-10. I mean, not a game. Some of the Trevor Lawrence stats are so nuts. They scored on a screen pass, and it was his second touchdown pass in 8 weeks. I mean, that's just so bad. That's just so bad. So that's a roundabout. I know we dove We dove in a little bit to some of the playoff stuff. We'll, again, Saints-Niners, pretty easy. Niners got to lose, Saints got to win. And that Raiders-Chargers game, I guess I'm excited for that. Carr versus Herbert. You know, we talked about the Herbert-Burrow matchup. This is a pretty good AFC West matchup. Steelers win tonight. Let's get weird. Any other NFL stuff, BBD?
No, get there. We'll get there.
Who are some of the fantasy heroes this weekend? Obviously, Jamar Chase, Devin Singletary, Joe Burrow, Darrell Williams. Dante Foreman had a big game. Like him a lot. Ramondre Stevenson.
Had some big weeks this year.
Yeah, he had a big one. Who else were fantasy
Ayuk
heroes?
just never has a giant game.
Yeah.
St. Brown.
Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Rashad Penny in that game. How's your 172 touchdowns? Devontae just always does it. He just always does it, man. That guy's nasty. That's the NFL weekend. So we're coming up on the first Week 18 ever, which that's exciting. I think the NFL's a little sad that they don't have more on the line. Like, there's really only a couple games that have big implications. That being said, the NFL is going to NFL. We'll have some teams that lose, and their playoff seeding will change a bunch, and it'll matter, blah, blah, blah. We'll get ready for that coming up. Hey, little shout out to NCAA football. Got into it. It definitely... You guys have heard me on this show kind of question where I'm at with college football. And I think just going forward, unless something changes, it looks like I'm kind of a Christmas Day and in guy. New Year's Day and in. Maybe I can get it to Christmas. Cincy Bama, got excited for that. Cincy... If you want to hang with Bama, you got to make some big plays, some game-changing plays. Bama muffed a punt since he couldn't get it. 27-6 final. Was texting Ian Happ about the game. He was really excited. He was there. Show, obviously. And then Michigan, Georgia. Michigan, 34-11. The two SEC powers. I think the two best teams in college football. Are going to meet up in the championship and run it back. Georgia looking for revenge after Bama and Bryce Young beat up on them in the SEC championship game. That's one of college football's, I don't want to say secrets, egrets. College football kind of always works out. Like even when people were mad at the BCS, kind of the two best teams end up there. It works out this year. Bama, Georgia. Be a fun one. And then the next day, like Oklahoma State, Notre Dame, that was a fun game. Like, yes, those were two good teams. Utah, Ohio State, yes, that was an awesome game. The Rose Bowl. Baylor, Ole Miss, ugly, bad, but good football. Even Iowa, Kentucky that next day was a good game. So, yeah, I mean, right now I'm just like a New Year's college football guy, which maybe I can try to stretch that out for more big games, but that was fun. Let's see. NHL, they had their outside game. We liked that. It was cold.
It was like big cold, right?
Big cold, 7 degrees or something. Trevor Plouffe, Minnesota on the map. Kyrie prepping a debut, sure.
Wednesday.
See you there. Kai. I think that's it. Which brings us to the comment of the day. Bakers, I left up a hostage video on the Thursday, or actually the Friday. New Year's Eve. Just kind of a thank you, and then discuss some football for 30 minutes, which I appreciate. Cheech gave me a shout-out, said this is impressive, guy talking to himself about sports for 30 minutes and is interested the whole time. I appreciate that. That's very nice. A lot of well wishes. The G-Dogs, Happy New Year's, Jake and BBD. And the chat. Love you guys. Gab with some nice words. Tom Ace. Daniel Ramos. Yeah, I was saying I was excited for the dogs. Both underdogs gambling-wise. And they both got rolled on, so shows what I know. D Hal Queen 99 looks like she said, I know I'm in the minority, but I don't think you suck. So that's tough. That's tough, but we will take it. And thanks again, Bakers. Was giving you guys some love, and you guys gave it right back. And excited to groove into the new year. Football playoffs, we'll see when baseball starts getting hot in the streets. At some point, it's going to be very hot. I think we'll have some guests coming on soon. Rank some quarterbacks with Bobby Skinner, maybe some Super Bowl with Chris Rose. We'll see what else is going on. Foolish Bailey's always subtweeting us.
Always.
It's his deal. I have to bring him on again. So thank you guys. Excited to grow into the new year with y'all. And with that, it brings us to the bro or the bruh of the night. Bro of the night, I will, I gave a little bit before, and I found out he has a CCSU connection, but I'll give it to Zach Taylor, man. Zach Taylor, head coach of the Bengals. We remember when all of those coaches on the Sean McVay coaching tree were getting hired, and he was one of them. And it was kind of a scary one. Like, he was young, not a lot of experience at all. I think he was one of the biggest ones that people were like, whoa. We're just hiring everyone.
Anybody?
We're just hiring anyone that knew this guy. 2-14, 4-11-1. Joe Burrow gets hurt. 10-6 this year. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are getting all the love. Guess what? Like, he is the guy coaching him up and tied to him. He deserves some love. And I also want to give a weird bro or bruh. I don't know what it is. I guess I'm just thinking of this right now. Is that I saw some people saying that the Vikings might move on from Mike Zimmer. They lost again. Sean Mannion in Lambeau. Was never going to happen. But they did. That team had bigger expectations than missing the playoffs. Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Mike Zimmer, known as a defensive head coach. Mike Zimmer is a well-respected, good NFL head coach. IMO. I think that's kind of the consensus. I don't think you fire it. Like, if you guys want to move on from Kirk and maybe figure something else out at the quarterback position, like it seems like that's been lining up almost since the start of when Kirk Cousins came in and he got the massive contract and it didn't fully click. I don't know. I think that maybe we need to get away from the, I very much believe in a manager or coach's voice running old. I don't think Mike Zimmer's is that yet. I think that would just be shaking up and hoping. Like, I think you shake it up. Maybe you move on from Kirk. Maybe you do, draft, free agency, trade or two, whatever. Mike Zimmer, pretty well respected. They were talking about how much Aaron Rodgers respects him. Like, he's always a tough matchup for them. He was fighting with, both arms behind his back last night, and it was a 3-0 game for a while. Like, if the Vikings had found, one tipped pass or, a muff punt or something, that would have been a game for no reason. Sean Mannion didn't have it. So I don't know if that's a bruh, brie like the cheese. Some coaches that coach in cold weather. Zach Taylor, Mike Zimmer.
Chili boys.
But if you get rid of Joe Judge, I get it. BBD, you have bro?
I've got a bro. Coming out of the AB stuff, there's some people on Twitter tossing out like biggest divas in football history conversations, and Terrell Owens.
Yes,
Terrell Owens gets mentioned, and he got in the mix and was like, guys, no.
Yeah.
It's like, like I was pretty young for like all the TO times, but I was like I didn't like him. He was like kind of loud and played on the teams I don't like, so I just didn't like him. But like in hindsight, it's like yeah, he never like did it. He had fun. And he was like kind of loud.
It was entertainment.
He
T.O. did sit-ups in his driveway and held a press conference.
Yeah. He was like at his worst, he was annoying. Like,
yeah.
if it wasn't your thing, it wasn't your thing.
I do think he threw a quarterback or two under the bus, but there's a lot of wide receivers that have done that.
Yeah, but and then people were seeing quotes like I didn't know in real time he was talking about like guys like have domestic violence stuff and like do drugs and get arrested every week. And like I just like took out a Sharpie.
Yeah, like T.O. was trying to entertain people, which the closer we get to it, like the more I think sports should be entertainment. Yeah, and T.O., like the whole thing is like how much the media can impact stuff. And by the way, maybe this is a segue to Chris Rose's rotation, which you should all listen to. Jeff Passan is on there. Howard Bryant is on there. And Ken Davidoff, who I wasn't super familiar with, he was fantastic on there. They talk about Hall of Fame voting. All three of them are Hall of Fame vote eligible. Two of them kindly decline on the process because they think the process is dumb. It's a great listen, and it's a lot from the media side about how guys are depicted and how, you know, it later affects your career and being in the spotlight. Like, you know, A-Rod and Poppy being in the spotlight and kind of liked by society or accepted. Like, how different is that from Sammy Sosa? Like, Sammy's got so many home runs and stuff, and he has no Hall of Fame buzz.
Like, more 60 homer years than anybody.
His numbers and stuff are less on the whole, but
on the whole.
Like, if Sammy Sosa was Big Poppy or A-Rod and in the spotlight regularly, like, I think there'd be a ton more buzz.
On more competitive teams.
And I think you can tie that into T.O. and, like, how he was kind of appreciated by the media and stuff. T.O. is one of the best wide receivers of all time. Like, I think if you were doing an actual, like, and maybe this is an off-season activity, like, draft the best football team ever.
He ends up on one of our
teams. I think if we did it, if it was just you or me, I think T.O. gets picked. So
yeah,
top 4, top 6 wide receiver all time. Like, the T.O. stuff. Hey, maybe this is the start of his comeback. Maybe AB did the work for him. And
T-Dogs has the stat I was thinking of 360-plus homer seasons, but never led the league in homers.
Yeah, and I opened up a chat in the Worm because those guys, all of those people are on different levels. But like, check right now,
individual conversations.
And I'm not making this a Boston, New York thing. David Ortiz should be a Hall of Famer. He's looking like he's going to be first ballot. Right now, I think he's 80%.
I think he's like the only one on track right now.
And they said he'd be the lowest. Obviously, he's a DH, so his WAR is lower, but it'd be the lowest WAR since Jim Rice, another Red Sox guy. Not making it a Boston thing. And Big Poppy is larger than life and an awesome personality, and as a baseball player, absolutely is a Hall of Famer. So there's a lot of moving parts there. Go listen to Chris Rose rotation for that one.
Got it queued up for my commute home.
And then the chat started talking about our quarterback rankings, and they were talking about Carr, Cousins, and Wentz. And yeah, I mean that itself is a pretty crazy conversation because Kirk's got some stats that are awesome. And I think he's got comeback stats and stuff like that too, but the chat's saying Carr, and I think I'd say Carr.
Like just the Kirk Cousins,
but
just awful.
Is
vibes.
that just vibes? Check like that's kind of weird. So
it's like every year you look at Cousins' numbers and it's like, oh, he was good.
We will do that at some point. For now, I think we'll leave you guys be. Go listen to that Chris Rose rotation. Talking Knicks, the boys let it rip last night. Talking Giants, a lot of emotion. Talking baseball coming up after this. The boys are back. It's been a minute. That'll be fun.
gaming tournament.
The gaming
Mario
tournament.
Kart.
Mario Kart and the baseball. Baseball Stars tournament, a great one yesterday. We love you. Happy New Year's. We will see you Thursday. We'll probably tee up for the football weekend. Maybe we'll mix in a little some. Little some. Little
Some
some.
activity going.
Some. Enjoy your week. Work your way back in. Resolution time. See you in Vegas. Love.